5 unrelated Dogman stories told in the rain. The Dogman of Brigantine Castle. Dear Scary Stories NYC, I find myself slipping into the shadowy alleys of my memories, treading lightly through the cobwebs of time, as I recall that fateful night. Back then, the world seemed simpler, and ghostly tales held a certain mystique that gripped the hearts of the adventurous. New Jersey was home to the infamous Brigantine Castle, an entertainment destination rumored to house the supernatural, the ghoulish, and everything in between. It was a hot August evening when I ventured alongside some friends to Brigantine Castle, seeking thrills, chills, and perhaps a touch of bravado. We stood before the imitation stone structure, its ominous presence looming tall against the darkened sky. Cobwebs covered the entrance, and a foreboding silence clung to the air, leaving an indescribable weight upon our spirits. As we paid for our tickets and entered, the scent of damp earth mingled with the faint aroma of fear, aka sweat, settled uneasily within my nostrils. A sense of both excitement and apprehension danced through my veins, my heart pounding like distant thunder. The weathered wooden doors creaked open, as if enticing us to delve into the unknown. And so, with a mixture of fear and curiosity, we crossed the threshold into Brigantine Castle, as if stepping into the annals of a forbidden realm. Inside, darkness enveloped us, and an announcement came over the loudspeaker made by a man imitating Boris Karloff. I remember walking through a room that was dark and we couldn't see anything, but we could feel something touching us. The sound of distant howling heightened the tension in the air, causing my sense of reality to teeter precariously. Yet I was resolute, determined to make it through this macabre journey unscathed. We navigated winding corridors and encountered an array of eerie creatures lurking within the castle's sweaty embrace. Vampires, witches, restless spirits seemed to materialize from the very fabric of my imagination. Goosebumps danced along my arms, while I shivered all over in fear. A hint of adrenaline coursed through me, fueling my determination to keep moving ahead. I was having about as much fun as you can have with people dressed up as fake monsters. But then, as if destiny had conspired against me, I stumbled upon a scene that pierced through the haze of artifice. A creature stood before me, draped in matted gray fur, feral eyes reflecting moonlight. Its form bore a grotesque blend of human and beast, a true amalgamation of horror. I froze, entranced by the sight, a primordial fear pulsating through my veins. After all, this creature was too large to be a man in a suit. In a heartbeat, the werewolf lunged toward me, teeth bared, claws extended. The sound of its growl reverberated through the air, consuming every inch of my consciousness. Instincts took over, and I backpedaled with every ounce of strength I could muster. My racing heart nearly exploded within my chest. Panic gnawed at my thoughts as I tried to comprehend what I had just witnessed. Seeking refuge, I found sanctuary within the embrace of my friends. Yet when I turned to look back, the werewolf had vanished, leaving no trace of its terrifying presence. I tried to convince myself that it was merely a trick, a mirage conjured up by the staff there. Yet deep down, in the depths of my being, I knew that what I had just seen was real. Decades have since passed, but the memory of that encounter remains etched in my mind. Now an older man, I often find myself gazing into the mirror, tracing the lines etched on my face, each one an emblem of wisdom earned through the trials of life. And although skeptics may question my recollection, I remain convinced that, on that eerie night in Brigantine Castle, I locked eyes with a creature that legend had insisted existed only in the realms of nightmares. Though time may fade the color of these memories, The imprint left by that chance encounter with the supernatural will forever haunt my soul. It just goes to show that sometimes the line between reality and illusion can become blurred, revealing the true essence of our deepest, darkest fears. The Dogman and the Carnival. Dear Scary Stories NYC, I never thought that my mundane work as a carnival caretaker would lead me into the depths of horror. There I was, standing in the deserted fairgrounds just as the sun was bidding its final farewell for the day, casting eerie twilight shadows over the vibrant neon lights. The carnival was yet to open its gates for the night. A curiosity whispered in my ear like a wicked accomplice, urging me to explore the mysteries it held within. The air grew heavy, the silence broken only by the faint rustling of fabric and the occasional far-off creak of a ride. The vibrant colors of the attractions seemed to have transformed, taking on a sinister hue, as if reflecting the oncoming darkness that was settling in my soul. Goosebumps danced on my flesh, but I didn't know why. It was a chilling premonition of the terrors awaiting me. As I wandered inside, a distant guttural growl erupted from the depths of the night, jarring me from my trance. My heart skipped a beat, and instinctively, chills ran down my spine. The growl, so primal and menacing, sent shivers straight through me. My mind yearned to flee, to escape this unholy place. But a weird curiosity rooted me to the spot. I saw a figure emerge from the shadows, blending seamlessly with the encroaching darkness. Yet there was something undeniably unearthly about this silhouette. As it grew nearer, my heart pounded in my chest, like a prisoner desperate for escape. Ambient light lit the creature, revealing glimpses of matted fur that clung to the beast's monstrous form. Its muscular physique was a grotesque blend of canine and man, an abomination born of nightmares wielding a silent, yet tangible terror. The creature moved with preternatural speed, each stride eating up the distance between us. My mind screamed at me to run, but I remained pinned to the spot, a horrified spectator to this twisted show. In the fading light, its eyes glowed a lethal amber, penetrating my soul with an intelligence far beyond anything nature ever intended. Its feral snarl carried the echoes of 1,000 forgotten stories, a haunting melody of terror and pain. A guttural howl escaped its monstrous mouth, reverberating through the deserted grounds, summoning nightmares from the deepest recesses of my imagination. As it passed before me in an ethereal blur, I caught a glimpse of its malicious grin, rows of razor-sharp teeth glinting ominously. That unholy expression seemed to hold a cruel invitation, an insidious invitation, into a world where the line between reality and nightmares fused, leaving no escape for the unwary. The Dogman sped away from the carnival, vanishing into the embrace of the oncoming night. Exhausted, my trembling legs gave way, and I collapsed to the ground. The echoes of its haunting howl lingered in the air, branding my psyche with an indelible terror. Doubt consumed me. Had my eyes deceived me? Was it merely a cruel trick of the fading light, or a delusion conjured by my weary mind? Questions plagued my every thought, but the undeniable horror that had unfolded before my eyes left no room for a rational explanation. The carnival began to awaken. Lights flickered back to life, and music whispered through the air. But even as the world around me rekindled its life, I could not shake the lingering dread left in the Dogman's wake. Deep within the recesses of my soul, I knew that something far more sinister had awakened that night at that carnival. Something beyond human comprehension. And as the gates opened to admit unsuspecting visitors, I silently prayed that they would never bear witness to the twisted entity that had crossed my path. A dogman of nightmares, lurking just beyond the veil of our fragile reality. Dogman in the supermarket parking lot. Dear Scary Stories NYC. As I stepped out of the supermarket and glanced around the bustling shopping center, something caught my eye in the corner of the parking lot. At first, it seemed like a mere trick of my weary mind, but as I blinked away the fatigue, there it stood, defiantly surreal, yet undeniable. A majestic wolf, upright on its hind legs. My heart skipped a beat as I watched the creature, uncertain of whether this was real or some bizarre figment of my imagination. I rubbed my eyes, half expecting the image to disappear, but when I looked again, there it was, as mesmerizing as ever, its silver-gray coat glistening in the afternoon sun. Frozen in awe, I wondered what had brought this wild being to such an unlikely place. Wavering between concern and curiosity, I dared not take my eyes off him. The wolf seemed equally aware of my presence, its bright, piercing eyes locked onto mine. It was almost as if a silent understanding passed between us, two distinct beings linked in that precise moment. It was an enigma, an astonishing sight that defied logic and challenged everything I thought I knew about the natural world. Questions flooded my mind, each battling for attention. Was I dreaming? Was this really happening? How did a wolf end up standing upright outside a mundane supermarket? Just as quickly as the disbelief settled, the wolf seemed to sense my thoughts and turned, as if realizing it had overstayed its welcome. I held my breath, knowing that any sudden movement might startle it. The wolf's grace was enchanting. With a silent leap, the wolf transformed into its primal form, four legs touching the ground, defying gravity as it galloped across the parking lot with unrivaled speed and agility. Its howl pierced the air, sending shivers down my spine. As I stood there, dumbfounded by the sight I had just witnessed, I couldn't help but ponder the symbolism behind this surreal encounter. The wolf, a creature of wild freedom and cunning prowess, had momentarily walked among us mere mortals, providing a glimpse into a world that I had only dreamed of. With each passing second, the memory seemed to fade, to lose its sharpness, like a vivid dream upon awakening. Yet the impact its appearance had left on my spirit remained imprinted, forever etched within the depths of my soul. Never before had the boundaries between the ordinary and the extraordinary blurred so effortlessly. The image of that wolf, boldly striding on its hind legs, would forever remind me that amid the normal, the supernormal can unfold, if we only allow ourselves to look beyond the superficial and embrace the magic that waits just outside our comfort zones. The Werewolf DJ. Dear Scary Stories NYC. I have always been an adventurous traveler, constantly seeking new experiences that I won't ever be able to forget. So when I found myself in beautiful Romania during my recent vacation, the allure of exploring their vibrant and famous nightlife was irresistible. Little did I know that I was about to stumble upon a hidden world beyond my wildest dreams. It was a balmy evening when I arrived at the nightclub, captivated by the rhythmic beats escaping through the doors. As I stepped inside, A wave of euphoria washed over me, swallowed by the intoxicating atmosphere enveloping the room. Colorful lights danced across the crowd, casting an enchanting spell that pulled me further into this nocturnal haven. As I made my way toward the dance floor, I couldn't help but notice a mysterious figure behind the DJ booth. Tangled wild hair framed his fierce face, and his intense, mesmerizing eyes seemed to pierce through the very depths of my soul. It was as though I had caught a glimpse of another world in his gaze, a place filled with secrets and untamed desires. But it was when the DJ turned his attention to the music, and the music resonated through the speakers, that a peculiar transformation began. His body seemed to stretch and contort. His skin turned dark and coarse, and his once human visage became elongated, bearing fangs as sharp as razors. Before my disbelieving eyes stood a creature resembling the stuff of legends. A werewolf. My heart raced, torn between fear and an inexplicable fascination. It felt as though I had stumbled upon a hidden sanctuary, a gathering place where these supernatural beings could revel in their shared primal energy. Yet I couldn't shake the fear that consumed me at the sight of such mythical creatures. As the night progressed, the crowd thickened, and I noticed others arriving, each one bearing the unmistakable traits of the werewolf. Their presence was both mesmerizing and eerie, and yet there was an unmistakable bond uniting them all. They danced and moved with an otherworldly grace, their primal instincts taking over, as if they were temporarily escaping their earthly constraints. It became increasingly clear to me that I had unknowingly stumbled upon a secret underground community, a world of shapeshifters that had managed to remain hidden from the prying eyes of the ordinary world. They reveled in their dual existence, embracing the moonlit nights and the power it bestowed upon them. As the night waned and exhaustion began to take hold, I eventually tore myself away from this mesmerizing scene. My mind was spinning with a whirlwind of emotions, my thoughts filled with questions that seemed too fantastical to be true. Had I actually witnessed what I thought I did? Or was it simply the imaginative tricks that my mind played on me in that exotic land? Now, back in my hotel room, I find myself staring at the moonlit sky, its ethereal glow casting a bittersweet spell. My encounter with the werewolves of Romania remains etched in my memories, forever sealing my belief in the enigmatic wonders this vast world holds. And while part of me longs to be drawn back into that hidden realm, another part cautions me to treasure the memories that I do carry, like sacred secrets, shared only between me and the moon itself. The mystery of the giant Dogman. Dear Scary Stories NYC. I remember it vividly, the night that changed my life forever. It was a moonless evening. The air was thick with an eerie calmness that sent shivers down my spine. I had just finished my shift at the local diner, and I was making my way back home through the lonely streets of my small town. Little did I know, I was about to experience something beyond comprehension, something terrifying, something that would haunt me till the end of my days. As I approached the outskirts of town, a strange sensation washed over me, a weird calling, as if some invisible force had beckoned me to venture further. I felt drawn toward the dense forest that lay ahead, its trees casting long, foreboding shadows on the narrow path. Ignoring the unease that tugged at my gut, I trudged forward, the calling growing louder and stronger with each step. The forest loomed in front of me, a vast expanse of darkness that seemed to swallow all sound and light. Hesitant, yet compelled by an unknown power. I took my first cautious steps into its depths. My heart pounded like a war drum, heightened by the oppressive silence that enveloped me. A sense of dread crept up my spine, urging me to turn back. But I pressed on, my curiosity overcoming my fear. Suddenly, in the eerie silence, a low guttural growl pierced the stillness. I froze, a cold sweat beading on my forehead. The sound came from just a few feet away. Trembling, I slowly turned my gaze toward its source, my eyes widening in disbelief as they met the gaze of an enormous wolf. It stood before me, towering and majestic, its eyes aflame with an otherworldly brilliance. Fear coursed through my veins, but as I looked into those piercing eyes, I saw something else. An intelligence, a wisdom far beyond any creature of the forest. The wolf spoke in my mind, like a haunting melody. He promised knowledge. He promised memories that I had long forgotten. He promised that he would unlock the secrets of my past. Compelled by this mysterious dreamlike allure, I found myself stepping closer, my every instinct screaming against it. The wolf spoke at length in my mind, in a voice as hypnotic as it was terrifying. It revealed snippets of my forgotten life, memories that danced just out of reach, tantalizingly close. My mind was electrified, flooded with images and emotions from every second of my life, most of which I had long buried. But as the night wore on, the wolf's promises took a sinister turn. Its voice grew colder, its words twisted with an intentional evil. It spoke of darkness. It spoke of a destiny I was bound to fulfill, and of a pact it wished me to make. Panic flared within me, as a deep-rooted instinct for self-preservation took hold. I tried to retreat, but the wolf's power held me captive. As the first rays of dawn began to break through the forest canopy, a surge of courage coursed through my veins. Summoning every ounce of strength I had left, I broke free from the wolf's clutches, stumbling backward until I was out of its reach. Its furious growls echoed through the trees, its eyes burning with anger and disappointment, as I ran, desperate to escape its vile presence. From that day forward, I carry the memories that wolf had unraveled for me, a heavy burden I can't really fully comprehend. Nightmares plague my sleep. Visions of a bleak future chill me to the core. That wolf's voice continues to echo in my mind, a haunting reminder of the darkness that almost consumed me. Though years have passed, I often find myself with a paranoid compulsion to glance over my shoulder, half expecting to see that wolf lurking in the shadows, waiting to claim what it believes is rightfully his. Its promises of forgotten memories, now tainted by evil, still linger, and so I remain haunted, forever tormented, by the enigmatic encounter with that enormous speaking wolf in the heart of the darkness. Whether you're feeling cursed or you're feeling blessed, there's no greater executive producer than CS. Please join me in thanking CS, one of the most important people to this channel. I don't know what we'd do without her. And once again, she's made another new episode possible. Please say thanks to CS because without her, this channel probably wouldn't even still be on the air. And if you'd like to join her in helping us stay around, then listen to what this next guy has to say. Hank? Thanks, Biggie. And thanks to all of you for watching this far. If you liked it, please click like. If you'd like to see more of our work, please subscribe. And also click that bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we put out a new episode. To become an executive producer, you can donate to us through the thanks button under each of our videos or through our paypal.me/PeterBernard209 page. To receive cool perks like secret uncensored Dogman episodes far too wild to ever run on this channel, you can become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button, or join our PayPal subscribers club at peterbernard.com. Joining either at the $3 a month level or above gets you access to our over 25 hours of secret uncensored Dogman stories available nowhere else. Do you have a scary story about Dogman or some other kind of high strangeness that happened to you? Let us know by emailing us at scarystoriesnyc@gmail.com or by leaving us a voicemail message at 804-LA-SCARY. You may need to call back on that one. It cuts off after, I think, 3 minutes. And if you don't want to do any of that stuff, thank you for simply watching to the end. Good night, and have a scary tomorrow.
Come back for more scary stories.